Hi, I'm Mike. Welcome back to Our Wyoming Life, where we're still waiting for Ethel to have her baby, but that's not the big story today. These guys are gonna get a whole new area to run in, along with Gus here, who wants to come up and say hi. This is Gus, by the way. They are gonna get a whole new area to run in. We're calling it the multi-species area, and Beckart Fencing is here to help us get it set up. Stick around. It's all coming up today on Our Wyoming Life. Hey there, gang. Welcome back to Our Wyoming Life, where we like to explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. And it happens twice a week here on the channel as we put out videos. But this week is a very special week because we're going to take a step back to the 30 and 30. And you're going to get at least 3 videos in a row here from this massive build that we have going on here on the ranch, thanks to Beckart Fencing and, of course, you guys. As you know, we have a lot of animals on the ranch. We've got animals. Sometimes we don't even know where they're at or where we have them. So what we're doing now, and here over the next 3 or 4 days, is we're actually gonna take this area of the triangle pasture. Now you can see it from the webcam, which is back there on our house, but we are gonna create a multi-species area. And what that means is we're gonna make an area, pasture out here. I haven't even measured it yet. I don't know how big it's gonna be, but it is gonna be an area that's safe for pretty much any animal that we put in here, from emus to donkeys to pigs, goats, whatever else ends up in here, cattle. It will be safe for all of those. And Beckart has the fence for us to be able to do that. Keith from Beckart Fencing is back out here for the next few days. We're gonna talk to him in just a few minutes. But first, I wanna show you what we have planned. And to do that, we're gonna go to Google Earth. I really enjoy using Google Earth when it comes to planning projects around the ranch. And the reason is because it's so easy to use and there's so many different options and features for me to take advantage of. Like this one. This one allows me to roll back in time to all of the satellite pictures that have ever been taken of the ranch. Also, I can use this tool to measure distances, and this one to measure pasture sizes. So when we take a look at this pasture, the triangle pasture, from space, this is what we see. And today we are going to be building a new fence. It's going to look something like this. This area is the multi-species area. But right now we've got a few small problems we have to tackle before we even get to building fence. And part of it is that we've got this old ratty fence that we have to take out. We're gonna be starting from scratch. This fence is gonna go. So before we even get to talking to the guys from Beckart, we're gonna start some demo. We're gonna start tearing out some fence, and I'm gonna show you a couple tips to help you as you tear out your own fence, which you hopefully never have to do. But I swear this fence has probably been here for 100 years. It's time for it to go. Now don't get me wrong, this fence has been here for 100 years and it's served the ranch well, but over time, it's got problems. It's become loose and wiggly, and posts have broken, they're rotten. And really, what the big problem is now is this isn't gonna contain anything. Cows have been known to jump right over with no problem. So we're gonna remove the entire fence. We're gonna do it in the easiest way possible. Some of these parts we're actually just gonna cut off the fence. We're gonna be removing fence posts anyway. Some of it we will actually be pulling staples and rolling it up a little bit later, but we're gonna show you some of that. Also, we're gonna be using the tractor to help us get this done as fast and as efficiently as possible. This fence has been cobbled together and repaired so many times that at this point, it's not even funny. We've got wood posts, we've got T-posts, we've got old wire, we've got new wire, we've got woven wire, and we've got a bunch of splices. So I am going to try to recycle as much as I can out of this, but some of these T-posts, like this one here, probably still good. We'll be able to use it. But a lot of this, the wire, everything else, is going to be going to recycling. Another problem that we have is that this wire is in the ground. That's where we're going to be using the tractor to pull a lot of this out and then come back and wind it all up and get it ready for recycling. So it's just a matter now of just getting most of this fence pulled off of these posts. It shouldn't take us too long. It's about, I don't know, a few hundred yards. So not horrible. So really quick, before we move on to the mechanical portion of this whole thing, we're going to be bringing in the skid steer to pop all this stuff out of the ground. I'll show you how I remove the staples to get the fence off of the post. This post is still pretty solid. It's in good shape, but it's going to go. What I like to do is start at the bottom. If you start at the top, you've got stuff falling on you, whether it's barbed wire or woven wire or whatever it may be. So start down at the bottom or as low as you can get. For us, it's not really that low. We can get down to within probably about 6 inches of the bottom of this fence, but we can start removing staples at this point. And this is why we're going to have to bring in the skid steer to pop the rest of these up so we can get that bottom staple out. It's buried. I'm not going to dig every single one out. So we get down here to our very first staple, and I'm using fencing pliers for this, but I like to grab it with this portion and then you can kind of twist it out. But one thing that works really good for me is if I actually twist it around this way and then we work vertically. And what it does is actually twist the staple out and you're moving against the barbs. There's barbs on this staple. You can see them right in there. There's little tiny barbs. So when we grab it and we twist, we're actually moving those barbs away and into the hole that the staple created. A lot of these are really rusty, so there's not much of a barb left. But on this top one, well, not the top one, but that silver one right there, we might be able to see it a little bit better. Also, as you can see here, we can actually hold on to the staple and drop it in our bucket so we're not dropping it out in the field. So we can twist this one off, pull it out into the bucket. This is a relatively new staple. This fence must have popped off of here recently, so we're gonna do the same thing here. Now this one's gonna have decent barbs on it, I hope. Yep, see they're there on the side. Those barbs. So when we twist it, we're turning those barbs the other direction. One last one to go here. And then we're gonna go grab the skid steer and roll down the line, popping all of this stuff out of the ground. Now with the fence completely torn out and out of the ground, we can go ahead and roll it up. We'll get it out of here. It'll go on to recycling. And in just a few minutes, we're going to check in with our good buddy Keith, along with Van, who's up here from Nashville, Tennessee from Beckard Fencing. Stick around. right, a little bit before and after there, and a year later on the ranch. Keith from Beckart and Van's right over there. He's back as well. We suckered them all into coming back up again. We've got a storm on the way, but I've kind of gotten wrapped up into this whole demolition project of this, you know, how far do you think that is? 300 yards?
Yeah.
About
yeah,
that.
it's the whole fence, when we measured it out on the fencing calculator, is like 1,700 feet, roughly.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's...
Well, come on over,
I would
man.
say it's
Don't
at
be
least
shy.
that.
Looks like you got a hole in your shirt, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got a few. The barbed wire kept on biting me all day long. So we talked a little bit about what we're doing here with the multi-species fence. We're going to show the actual fencing tomorrow in tomorrow's video, but what can you tell us about the fence that we're using?
So it was definitely a challenge for us. And, you know, I was actually on the road when you guys were, when we were texting back and forth. It was a challenge. The number of animals and the different species that you have were such a broad range of what fence we should use.
Right.
Emus, you need tall fence. Sheep and goats, you can't let those goats push their heads through, so you need sheep and goat fence.
Right.
And then we threw some donkeys in there, we threw some alpacas in there. So yeah, so we need a tall fence that the goats can't get their heads through, and I think we've selected something really well.
Very cool.
And I would tell you, but we've got a little contest going on our Facebook page. Trying,
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
People
very
are
cool.
trying to figure out what products we are using.
Oh,
so.
very cool. So head on over to Beckart's Facebook page, and you can guess on that. One of the interesting things about this build is that we're going aquatic a little bit here. We're going swimming.
I don't know if I'm going to put my bathing suit on, but, but we may have to.
We're actually cutting the pond almost in half.
We are. Yep.
Yeah. Does that pose any you know, unique challenges, or is it just one of those things that's just like, you know what, you do it and you just kind of see what happens?
Yeah, we're going to pull across it. A lot of people pull across ponds, Van. I mean, it is going to leave you and Jeff a little bit of work. When the water recedes a little bit, somebody's going to have to get out there and put those posts in.
Right.
Like I said, I don't know if I want to wade out there today.
Not today. Not today. And it's probably pretty deep. So we're going to kind of just skirt the surface of the pond.
Yep.
And that's all going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
All right. So
no, it won't happen tomorrow. We're actually going to do that on
the last day.
The last day. Yep.
Okay, so cool. So we got 3 days of videos on the way with Beckart. We're going to be learning more about these guys and what they're doing. We're going to go cruise around and look and see what you guys did today while we were tearing out fence on this side. And I've got a little bit more demo work to do, but I don't think I'm going to get to it today. But we're going to all set here. So.
We're going to pay attention to the weather, though. I don't want to. We're going to drive some pipe, and I don't want that lightning.
I was going to say, you're holding a big metal pipe in a lightning storm, probably not the best thing in the world. Let's go golfing instead.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys.
Okay.
Lincoln, you want to come with me? Yeah. All right. So we're going to, you know what? I tell you what, let's do a little movie magic. We are going to, hey, can we steal your Ranger for a minute? Sure. Lincoln, you can come sit up front with me.
No.
All right.
I like sitting in the back.
You like sitting in the back. It's like driving Miss Daisy. All right. We are going to go take a look and see what Beckart has done today. Now, they did have quite a bit of work to get done while we were tearing out fence and mowing down and getting all the posts and everything else out of the way, which definitely took a little bit of time. They were setting line posts on the other side, and if you happen to be watching on the webcam, this is what you actually saw. And they were working their little tails off trying to get all this done. We are running all the way from up there, and I don't know if you can see it, but all the way up there at the house. We made a few changes up there to the ramp that goes across, and this is the terminator. There's actually an alley here for the cows to go through. I think you guys saw it when I showed you the Google Earth stuff. So this is the line going down this way. We're going to drive that line, and I'm going to show you some of the changes we had to make up at the house with what we've always called the red gate, and I'm sure we're going to continue to call the red gate, but it's not going to be a red gate anymore. That wire that blue dragonfly is sitting on is actually the guide wire that these guys use to place these line posts. This is where it is going to cross over the pond. And what this does is, while we have the multi-species side over here, we still have cows and everything else over here. So they still have access to water on each side, although I think the multi-species areas has a little bit more water than the cows will have. We've also got water tanks and all that kind of good stuff we're going to show you guys as we continue on this project. But next stop is up with the ramp, the drive-over ramp that we've used for years on the ranch. We're going to show you what we did up there, and hopefully it'll make sense as we kind of give you an idea of what we're doing and how we're going to enter in to the multi-species area. Yes, buddy?
I got this vent I found.
Oh, wow, that's pretty. You know what that is?
What?
It's called foxtail. Yeah. All right, let's go. All right. You in?
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, so right there is our drive over ramp that we've had for quite a while. And we've actually moved it. So it was more over there alongside this fence here. We've shifted it over the left. We're gonna have a 12-foot gate there that leads into the cow pasture or the triangle pasture. And then we're gonna have another 12-foot gate on this side. We're tearing out this fence completely and running a new fence over there to the shed. So
It's still going to lead over there, under the triangle pasture?
it is still gonna lead over there, buddy. Very cool, right? All right, I'm gonna leave you here.
Hey.
I'm gonna take Keith's Ranger back to him, okay? And then I'll be right back. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's head back down to Keith and Van. We'll wrap this thing up for today. And hopefully you can join us again tomorrow because we're gonna have another video for you. And the reason we're doing this is actually to show the progress and how this whole thing comes together. A lot of times on video, it almost looks like this stuff magically happens when actually we have days worth of work that go into every single one of these projects. So we wanted to do kind of a day by day, like a daily vlog kind of thing to show exactly how this works from day to day. So let's head on back up to Keith and Van, and they're getting ready to pound another corner post. We'll check that out, and then we'll get you guys out of here, and hopefully you're anxious for tomorrow. Is that gonna work?
I think so.
Cool.
We're gonna put a 3-post set, so.
Oh, so it'll hold it up anyway. Very cool. Lots of work yet to be done. In fact, we've got gates to set and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Keith and Van will be back tomorrow to continue with this project. We're almost done for today, but hopefully you guys can join us tomorrow as we continue along, exploring the ranch life, escaping the ordinary, and building better fence with Beckard. Stick around, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with more on Our Wyoming Life.